Hi, I'm Gordon Taft of the BICC. I'm here today talking with Brianna Rohlehr. She's a cinematographer, a producer, has her own company, Visuals by Butterflye LLC. And she's a New York City born artist, Yonkers born and raised. New York City born, Yonkers raised. Yonkers raised.
Yep.
Yes, she's a great passion for storytelling, for visual arts, and your journey began at 17 with a digital camera.
Yep.
Nice. Could you elaborate on what started your journey as an artist?
So I grew up with two parents who were musicians. I mean, they're still here. So my mom plays piano, she sings, and she produces. My dad is a guitarist, he sings, he produces. So I grew up with art, all the songs that were out, and I was born 94, so all the songs that were out in 96, 97, I was listening to. So I have vivid memories of those R&B songs that were out at the time. So music and art has always been it's always been there. But my dad gave me Canon Rebel XT, the first generation Rebel that ever came out, and he was just like, "You have a good eye for stuff here." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't know, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this." But then I just kind of started messing around with the buttons and the shutter. I didn't know anything about the exposure, nothing. I knew nothing about that. But I was like, okay, let me just start pressing some buttons and let me see what happens. And then I started taking pictures of places, and not necessarily people, but different places I would go, or things in the house I would take pictures of, and then it progressed to people and portraits, and then it progressed to events and just still capturing people, but being more in the moment. So that's really how it started. And then by the time I left, when I graduated high school, I was still taking pictures. I wasn't really I didn't start doing events until college. But when I graduated high school, I went to Lehman, and then I originally wanted to be a journalist because I love to write. I love talking to people. I have a really big thing with people. I love people, just being able to connect with certain folks. And but I ran into this one professor who was teaching all the journalism classes at Lehman, and she and I didn't make it. And I was like, I don't in my mind, I'm like, I don't like the way she taught. So I'm like, there's no way that I'm gonna be here for another 2 or 3 years with this one professor who's teaching all these journalism classes, and I don't like you. That's not gonna happen. Yeah. So I switched to film and TV, and at the time, they were like, well, you're gonna need an internship in order to graduate. And I was like, okay. And a lot of times it's I feel like everybody's like, oh my God, let me go to ABC or NBC, let me go to one of the big networks so I can get this, I can get the credits and get the experience. But I didn't feel pulled to do that. I don't know why. I think I was probably just scared. What if they don't accept me, or if I don't have enough experience, even though I was starting off with an internship. But Bronx Independent Community Television was literally right downstairs, and I was like, hey, if I don't just go downstairs and we could just see what they had, what they were talking about. And I remember I spoke to Marissa White. She's no longer with us, but I had a quick conversation with her. She was like, okay, when can you start? I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? And I started September 3rd, 2014. And that was it. That I walked in the studio and I was like, yep, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And I'm still here. So
nice.
That is my journey in a nutshell. The beginning of the journey.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Let's trace it back to beginning again, but a different lens. I've been thinking about this. You're a Yonkers, you're a Yonkers native.
Yep.
I'm a Yonkers native. I grew up in Harlem until I was 9. Yonkers, lived there since.
Yeah.
How has your Yonkers background shaped your artistry? I know that's kind of loaded, I guess.
That's a really good question. I thought about this the other day. I can honestly say I don't. My parents would probably be like, "What do you mean?" But I feel like my artistry didn't really start until I got to college. That's when my life really I felt more connected to what I was doing.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to music because of my parents, more so my mom. But there wasn't really how can I say, I wasn't prideful about being from Yonkers or like doing art in Yonkers. Like again, like my stuff really didn't start until I got to the Bronx.
Yeah.
So anytime I go anywhere, I'm like BX like all day, even though I'm not from the Bronx, but I'm like the Bronx all day. That's where my career started, and Harlem too. You know, I got deep ties with Harlem, and that's a whole story within itself. But I don't have much connections to Yonkers, even though I grew up there. I feel like outside of my life as an artist, I grew up pretty sheltered in a way. I mean, I had friends, you know, like close relationships, but I think it had a lot to do with where I actually lived in Yonkers. Like, you know, or even parts of the Bronx, like if some places you know you need a car, you're not gonna be getting on a train. You might not live close to a train. You need a car. So, you know, I wasn't really hanging out in Yonkers. I wasn't really hanging out like that. So I don't really have a lot of connections to Yonkers. I do now because I'm freelancing at the new sound stages that they put up there. So it's funny because it's like I spent a good quarter of my life in the Bronx, Harlem, doing a lot of stuff uptown, and now I feel like I'm back home. So to answer your question, I don't really feel like any part of my artistry, and again, my parents would probably kill me, but I don't really feel connected that much to Yonkers. And also, like, the art scene in Westchester isn't really as booming as it is in New York City. I mean, you know, everybody and their mother is here. Like, everybody is in New York City, no matter where, like, what part you're talking about, the Bronx, Brooklyn, anything uptown, Queens. Like, there's so much stuff here. Westchester is just, it's not the same. So, you know, again, like, I built all of my connections in the Bronx and in Harlem, and in Brooklyn, not really Staten Island. But I built all of my connections uptown, so I'm now getting back to learning Yonkers as an artist because I work up there now, so yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, Yonkers has gone through kind of a transformation with, I mean, I remember when, you probably remember, you know, when like the area around the pier and Dock Street just was very different place like 20 years ago.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And it's so funny now that they've got these sound stages. I think they said their budget was like $200 million.
Yeah. That
they put all these stages there. And I'm just like, you know, just like you said, I remember when I went to prom 2012. I remember when prom was over and what we gonna do afterwards? Like, we weren't going down to the city. Yeah. But, okay, let's figure out a place to hang out. And we were all down by the pier, like 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, but nothing was there. Like, nothing was there. It was just a bunch of just...
It was further along, but nothing, not quite as much as where it is now.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like now...
I guess like the YoFi helped Yonkers Film Festival.
Yeah, that whole initiative, like, they're doing what is it now? Hollywood on the Hudson. Like, they're really trying to make they are, because they're building a lot of stuff. But yes, Yonkers is on the come up now because all of the big shows are coming there now to film. So it's really, really interesting just to see how everything's been transforming, because it's like, you know, then we start talking about gentrification, but that's a whole nother conversation. But to say, you know, it's just like, I remember when nothing was there, and now you've got these $200 million sound stages, and they're amazing. No, they are amazing. But just in terms of the transformation of what's happening in Yonkers, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's something. What would you what led you to make your production company, Butterflye Visuals by a Butterfly?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, how can I tell this story in a short version?
And what led to the name?
What led to the name?
Interesting name.
Okay. So while at BronxNet, like, I spent a lot of time in the studio. I was floor managing. I was doing camera. I was doing everything, like literally doing everything. And then I just kind of started. They had me working out in the field, you know, doing like shoots and stuff like that. And I was previously known as the camera lady, because it's like, if you know, all of y'all probably know, like, you don't see a lot of women in the field with a camera. We're here, but we're low in numbers. So anytime I was out with like big, you know, production cameras and people would pass, they're like, "Hey, camera lady!" I'm like, "Oh, hey." So it started off as the camera lady, and that's even what I went by like on Instagram, like before the pandemic. But outside of being a Bronx Net, like I was still shooting, like I was doing photo, I was doing video. I hadn't started teaching yet, but I was doing a lot. I was just doing a lot. And Visuals by Butterflye came about because two things. So when I started doing photography, like I started taking it a little more serious, like around 2013, 2014, my family and I had taken a trip to Martha's Vineyard. And it was just like this small little butterfly that was on this piece of concrete. And what I found out like a couple days ago is that they like to, and you've probably seen it, but they like to sit in the sun because they're cold-blooded. So if they can sit in the sun for a little while, it helps to warm their body up. And it was just me and this little butterfly in like 2014. And it's so funny that I think about this now. I started at Bronx in September 2014. And when I saw that butterfly, it was a month later. I didn't make that realization until like about a month ago. But me and this butterfly was having a conversation. Like, it was just posing, and it was me, the camera, this butterfly, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, this butterfly is like posing for me. I got a little model, like, butterflies just in the sun. I'm like, this is so cute. And it was just me and the butterfly. Yeah. And it just was like a real mindful moment. And I'm just like,
mind meld kind of.
Just, we were here. Like, I was locked in on this butterfly for a good like 5 minutes. And it didn't move. It just stood there, stayed there. And I was like, this is amazing. So fast forward to right before the pandemic, I was doing a lot more outside of like camera work and stuff like that. Because again, you know, I love working with people. I love talking to people. And I was like, I don't want to be confined by just me holding the camera. I'm pretty knowledgeable on camera work and what it takes, but I know that I'm meant for more. So, you know, I was like, trying to figure out like, okay, what's a good name now? Because, you know, as an artist, it's like, I want to brand myself. I want people to know me by X or like whatever it is. And I remember like I was so scared because my profile on Instagram had been private for like a long time. And when I changed the name to Visuals by Butterflye, because I'm obsessed with butterflies, and I'm like, because I know that I can do more than just work with a camera, I'm like, okay, Visuals by Butterflye. This kind of sounds cool. And then I made my my profile public, and I was like, nah, this is scary. This is real scary because now people can find me. Like I'm a private person, but I'm not at the same time. So I'm like, oh my God, what if somebody recognizes me on the street? Yeah. What am I supposed to do? And then I got over it. And I was like, okay, this is what it is. Yeah. So that's how the name came about. Like I'm still very much obsessed with butterflies. I see them every single day, no matter what season it is, whether it be a painting, a tattoo on a bag, on an umbrella. Now I see them more because the season is changing, so I always see like the little white butterflies like all around. But that's how the name came about.
Nice.
That's how the name came about.
Nice. Would you, what's some advice you'd give to like young up and comers? Would you recommend like starting a production company as soon as possible?
Oh yes, yes.
Nice.
And then I guess I'll just open this up to y'all. Like, please do. If you don't have your LLC already, please start one because it will just allow you to separate yourself from your artistry officially. And I think that's the thing I'm really learning now, is learning how to separate myself from the business. Because like when I first started, even before I registered my LLC, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this. I'm just taking pictures and this is fun. But then when people want to start paying me, I was like, oh, well, all this money is going to me. Technically, it shouldn't be. It should be going to the business. And then I also thought, I'm like, well, I want to become more official because I feel like you have LLC at the end of your business name. It's like, oh, yeah. And it's like, yeah, no, it's official now. So I would urge, if you don't have one, start one. It is a very simple process. Depending on who you go to, it can cost you less than $200, depending on who you go to. When I registered mine, it was about $1K, but I think that was because of what they were charging at the time and what was required by Westchester. Every place is different, so yes, I would always recommend just get your LLC, create a separate bank account, whatever shoots you're doing. If you're writing a film, if you're doing a shoot, whatever it is, that money goes over there, and then you do it yourself. And you just keep the cycle going until you decide, I mean, there are courses for this. And there are resources to help you understand like what's the best route for opening a business, because you might decide you want to do an S corp and you might want to start hiring people and run payroll. I'm not there yet. I don't intend on being there yet for a little while, because I'm still trying to, you know, there's still certain things that I'm trying to put into place. But yeah, if you can get your LLC, just do it, please, just do it, because then you can also, and this is something Gregor and I were talking about too, you can apply for certain things, versus if you didn't have an LLC. You can become certified in certain things versus if you didn't have your LLC. There's a lot of things that you can do with your LLC that you wouldn't be able to do if you were just an artist with just a regular bank account. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of courses and resources, especially here in the Bronx. There's a lot of resources here for business owners. So yeah.
Much appreciated. Thank you, Brianna.
Of course.
I'm gonna open this up to a few questions, a little Q&A. Anybody have any questions to offer up?
Don't be shy.
I had a question.
Yeah.
What if you open up an LLC and you got no business?
Then you get no business. Sometimes it's just that simple.
So, I don't know, maybe this is like too much of a question.
No, it's okay.
Like, what goes into maintaining an LLC, right? Like, as, you know, I don't know, a business entity or whatever, like, let's say business is very slow. Like, what's the bare minimum so you can, like, keep your LLC going?
That's a great question, because I registered mine in 2020, so like at the height of the pandemic. There probably are things I was supposed to have done. I probably have not done them, but it's not like the cops are coming after me.
I mean, yours is still kicking, right?
It's still kicking and I'm still here. I'm not in jail. Like, there are things that, for example, like when I was applying to become MWBE certified with New York State, and MWBE basically means Minority Women in Business Enterprise. It's a certification process that is statewide, citywide, and also countywide. But saying that to say, when I was going through that process, there was something I was supposed to report to, I don't know who, but it wasn't an issue, because again, they didn't come and get me. So I was just like, okay, I'm cool. But honestly, maintaining is really like, it's really what you want to put into it. That's all I can really say. It's not a matter of like, and again, transparently, there probably are things that I was supposed to have done, but I just haven't done it because either I didn't know about it, or I just didn't know about it and nobody told me. But maintaining it, it really is what you put into it. It's just like, you know, if you want to really market yourself, like one thing for me personally, I usually don't market it as a business. I really merge it as, no, this is my life's work. Yes, I have a business, but I'm an artist first, and that's what I want you to know me as. Now, if you want to hire me, all right, then we start talking about email and contracts and all that. That's the business side, but it's always been me as the artist first, and now I'm learning it's like, okay, no, you do have to separate now for paperwork purposes. So I would say for maintaining, it's more so paperwork, and again, what you put into it. Oh, and I would say make sure that you have your paperwork saved somewhere and you can put your hand on it, because if you decide to become MWBE certified for whatever tier, they're gonna ask you for a whole lot of stuff, and if you can't find it, that's gonna delay your process. And I can tell you from experience, because it took me 13 months to get my certification for New York State, and it shouldn't take that long. But that's because I didn't have stuff. Yeah. You know, there were things that I had to get. So to answer your question, it's really what you put into it, but now that I'm thinking about it and processing real time, paperwork, and just making sure you can put your hands on it. Oh, and taxes. Make sure you do that.
I feel like that's like the big one, right?
Make sure you do that. You know, again, I haven't been put in jail yet. I can't even say yet. I'm not gonna say that. I haven't been sent to jail, but also doing your taxes also helps when you start going for these programs. Even if it's a grant, they're gonna ask you, oh, what was your annual revenue for 2022, 23, 24? If you don't have those answers, you literally cannot move forward. So taxes, maintaining paperwork, and just staying on top of that stuff. But creatively, it's really what you put into it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Speaking of taxes, and I do hope this is not too personal of a question.
That's okay.
Could you tell me some of the expenses and liabilities that went into your LLC?
Oh, that's a great question. That is a great question. I think one thing that I always forget in terms of expenses is like small stuff. So if you spent $3 to get from one shoot, like if you live in the Bronx, so if you spent $3 to get from Parkchester to Soundview and you got to shoot, that $3 counts. That $3 counts. Even if we're not talking about the Omni card, Metro card, none of that. That little $3 that you spent, it counts because this is now money that I had to spend to get to the shoot to make this money. You know what I mean? So even if you spent $50 cents on like a pen to write something at a table that you're working at some fair, that 50 cents counts. So all the little things, if it's anything that has to go into your business for whatever reason, it gets written off. And I'm still learning, but basically what it means, and don't quote me, again, I'm still learning, there are resources available to help. But for what I can understand, let's say you make $50,000 in 1 year. Let's say you make $100,000, right? Based off of your business just alone. All the expenses that you spent money on, phone bill, that $3 to get to that shoot, the 50 cents you spent for that pen for whatever event. Let's say you spend $25,000 in expenses. Those are all the things you spent money on in order to make this business work and profitable for you. So what happens is the IRS, or whoever's doing all the tax stuff, they're only looking at the $25,000 that you made. Does that make sense? They're only taxing you on after your expenses. So that $25,000, that's what they're looking at. The $25K that you spent in terms of like expenses and all the little stuff, they're not looking at. They can't look at that because it's like I actually have to spend this money to make this business work. So that's my understanding. I am still learning. I didn't get caught up with my taxes until like last year. And there were years that I didn't file. So it was a process because it was a process. But yeah, do your taxes, please. Because if you have things to do, if you want to do things, if you want to apply for certain things, especially when you have an LLC, they're going to ask you, what was your annual revenue for 2025? You don't have those answers, you cannot move forward, whatever it is that you're doing. So if you have somebody that you trust, or if you feel like you want to find an agency to help you, find those people. If you have like what do they call them, a CPA, somebody that you trust and you can trust with your finances, your money, find those people.
CPA, what does that stand for?
That's a great question. I think it's certified something accountant. Yeah,
Production
certified something accountant. But yeah, if you can start putting these things into place now, you know, when as a single member LLC, because that's what I have, it's just me. It's gonna help you along the way. But like I said, especially when you want to start applying for things, they're gonna ask you a lot of questions, and if you don't have those answers, you cannot move forward, and that's gonna delay the process, especially if you're dealing with New York City. So that's the answer to the question. In the long version.
I had a question was basically about, do you have any advice for somebody that's looking to transfer to Lehman to take film, going for film and television?
Oh my God, my alma mater. Yeah. So what do you want to do?
I'm currently at Bronx Community College getting an associate in media studies.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking to transfer to Lehman since most of my basically everything transfers.
Yeah.
So pretty much I'll be like 30% done for my bachelor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Make the best of it. Talk to as many people as you can. I'm still connected to people at BronxNet that I met in 2014. We pass each other gigs. Funny enough, while working at these sound stages up in Yonkers, a woman that used to be a producer at BronxNet also at Lehman's campus. As soon as I walked in the room, there she was. I haven't seen her since like 2016. But that's how small this industry is. Everybody knows everybody. So if you can talk to as many people as possible, especially in your major, I got people who I'm still connected with that we graduated the same year. We might not be, you know, like as talkative with each other, but sometimes it'll be like, oh, hey, I thought of you because I know you do X. Let me just send this to you. So talk to as many people as you can, and just really make as many connections, especially with the professors too. If the same folks are there when I was there, just stay up under them, because the professors, like even if you weren't going to Lehman, film professors, media professors, they usually have a lot going on outside of school. So it's kind of like, you know, they do this full time. Or if they're retired, they might have other projects that they're working on. So it's kind of like, if you can kind of stay up under them, you know, just kind of tell them what it is that you're looking to do, it can be really, really beneficial, because sometimes it'll be years later and they'll be like, hey, I remember, and what's your name?
Mariolis, but yeah, you can call me Mateo.
Mateo.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be something like, oh my gosh, I remember when Mateo said, you know, they wanted to do, you know, X, Y, and Z on set. Let me just reach out to them right quick. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Another example for you, another woman that I met at Bronx Met over 10 years ago, she hit me up about a gig to do some video work at NYU. Now, I haven't spoken to her. We're still connected on Instagram, but I haven't actually spoken to her since maybe like 2020, maybe like 2019. So I would really recommend just make as many connections as you can, and get your hands on as much equipment as you can while you are there. Because when you leave and go into these bigger spaces, you know, we start talking about the union and different things and all these things that we as if you're just starting or if you're in the beginning stages, you can't put your hands on because there's restrictions. You know, it's like, no, we're technically, or if you're in a specific department, oh no, you actually can't touch that because this department is head of this and it. But school settings are always great because it's like you're expected to do those things. So, you know, get your hands on as much equipment as you can. Even if you don't like doing camera work, at least experience it, because sometimes it can also be where, okay, I might not like doing camera, but I know how to do it. And because I know how to do it, somebody might hire me for it. I'm good at it. That'll land me another job because somebody else saw me doing camera work, and that, you know what I mean? So it literally is one seed and then it just keeps going. So talk to as many people as you can. The people at Lehman are just, everybody's like family, you know. So, and it's a small school, so that also helps. You're not dealing with a whole bunch of different people and a whole bunch of different you know, entities that are in one major. Like, it's a college, so, you know, and the department is small, at least from what I can remember. So if you're able to talk to as many people as you can and just grab everybody's phone number, emails, Instagrams, just make sure you stay connected and just, hey, you remember me? Yeah. Like, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Yep, just, hey, you know. So that's what I would say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Brianna.
Of course.
Once again, thank you.
Of course. This was great. Thank you for having me. This was great. I'm glad. No, seriously, like, I was glad to be here. I love, as you can see, I love talking to people, so I can talk all day. But if you have any questions or if you want to reach out, I don't know if my stuff is on here, but I'm the Visual Butterfly on Instagram. And there you'll find my website, email, phone number. Like, I make sure that I'm very visible online, because I think one of the biggest things too is like, okay, if you're a shooter, or if you're a DP, or if you're whatever it is, it's like everybody just kind of chalks up their work to the digital world. Like, you know, if you're looking for a photographer, me personally, I want to know who I'm hiring, you know. So I always make it, I'm always very adamant about, no, you can find me. I'm easy to find on socials, on the website and stuff like that. So, or on my digital footprint, I'm very easy to find. So, yeah.
FLI, as in like body part I?
Yes. FLEYE on Instagram, and thevisualbutterfly.com. That's a new website that I just built. So, yeah.
And cut.